Good morning, everyone. My name is Madeline Gepp. I am one of the trainers here at Web Fortis, and welcome to our Dynamic CRM 2011 open training that we have every Wednesday at 10 a.m. So this is how the training works. To limit background noise, I have muted everyone. If you have a question or a topic that you want me to cover during this training, go ahead and type it in the chat box or ask to be unmuted if it's a little bit more complicated. I'm going to start with a brief introduction of Web Fortis. The training is going to last 30 minutes. If you have any follow-up questions or anything comes up, feel free to email me. My email address is right there, mgep@webfortis.com. I'll also bring it up at the end in case something comes up and you didn't expect that. Also, please stay on topic. If you are receiving errors, let's go ahead and take that offline. And again, go ahead and contact me, and either I'll help you solve it or I will have someone else help solve it. And then go ahead and join us every Wednesday at 10 a.m. For open training. If you have any questions, any topics, anything that has to do with Dynamic CRM, I can cover. So about Web Fortis, we have been in business since 1996. We have been around since Dynamic CRM first came about. We have about 35 employees all up and down the West Coast, including Seattle, Santa Rosa, Sacramento, Walnut Creek, and Los Angeles. Our CEO has written the 3 books that are shown here, all of which are Amazon and Barnes & Noble's bestsellers. And we can do anything as far as your CRM implementation goes, training, customization, importation, customization, configuration, etc. If it has to do with Dynamic CRM, we do it. So let's go ahead and get started. Let me close out of here and open my CRM. So this is the CRM that I'm going to be using. And let me open my chat. And if there's any questions, please type them now. Before the training started, I did get a question about security roles, specifically about solutions and security roles. So I'm going to go over that. I'm going to first go into the settings section of my CRM. And let's go into customization and then solution. And I just want to show you really quick that this is how you would import solutions. What I have in here, the solution that I was going to use as an example, is our internal social media connector. It's called Parrot. It brings Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter into our CRM. And to import it, you just go ahead and click import, and then you import the zip file and walk through the wizard. So that's how you would go ahead and do that. But more specifically, the question was, how do you allow users to now use the solution that you have imported? So to do that, I'm going to go ahead and go into my system and go into administration. So the first thing I want to show you is security roles. So I'm going to go ahead and go into security roles, and since this is just an out-of-the-box solution, I just have all of the out-of-the-box security roles, but the one that I wanted to point out is Parrot user here. Any good solution will have the security role for that solution. And so here we have Parrot. If we go to custom entities, it's going to have green across the board for that entity. If we want to create an entirely new security role that only allows part of that privilege, we could go to new and then specifically pick whether they want to read or write for that specific entity. Also note that a lot of different solutions will have a couple of different security roles. For Parrot, we only have Parrot user. That's the only one. So now I'm going to go back into administration and show you how to set someone as a Parrot user. So I'm going to go into users, and I will have all of my users listed here. This is a system that I use for training, so I'm the only user in here, so I'll just use myself as an example. If I wanted to add more users, I could go ahead and hit the new button up here and walk through the wizard. So let me go ahead and open up my record here. And then we could go ahead and go to security roles. And here I can view all of the security roles that are associated with that user. If I wanted to add any roles, I could go ahead and hit Manage Roles. And this is going to be all the roles that we just saw in the security roles area. So I could go ahead and select Parrot User, click OK, and then I can go back to General, hit Save and Close, and now that user would have access to Parrot. So when you very first import a solution, if other users in your system are not able to use it, that is very likely to be the reason why they can't view that solution. In some cases too, you might not want everyone using that solution. For example, Parrot, we give 2 users free. Any more than that, you have to pay for. So selecting your Parrot users is a bit more of a strategy. So any questions? So I have recently been asked a lot about the marketing bit, specifically mail merge. So I'm going to go over that a bit. So I'm going to go into the marketing area of my CRM. And I'm going to go ahead and go into marketing lists. From here, I can select one of my marketing lists to start the mail merge for. I'm just going to pick a random one here. And the first thing I'm going to do is create a quick campaign. And before I go into quick campaigns, I want to point out that a quick campaign is one activity specific to one marketing list. So if you want to do the same activity for 2 marketing lists, you would have to create 2 separate quick campaigns for it. So I have my one marketing list selected. I'm going to go ahead and hit Create Quick Campaign. And it's going to open up the Quick Campaign wizard. So you can go ahead and click Next. We'll give it a name. I'll call it Sample. We'll go ahead and hit Next. For this one, let's do a letter via mail merge. We can also do an email via mail merge. And the other thing I want to point out in the Quick Campaign wizard is you can do phone calls. So if you have someone else that you want to do a phone call to a list of people that is in a marketing list, you would be able to collect phone call and then assign to another user or team. For this example, I'm going to go ahead and just select myself, and I'm just going to create a letter. If you need to create labels, you would also do it this way. You'd go ahead and select letter via mail merge. So we'll go ahead and click Next. I'm going to use a blank document. Alternatively, I would be able to create a mail merge, save it in my CRM, and I'd be able to access it either organizationally wise, or if it's personal, I'd be able to access it there. So I'm going to go ahead and hit blank document. Next, I'm going to go ahead and select the data fields that I want to bring into Word. So I'm going to go ahead and hit data fields. And I can select all of the data fields that I want. Note that this is looking into the account record. This is going to be all of the fields that are located in the account record. So I can select anything that I want that is in the account record. In addition, I can select related to accounts or related to records as well. Something that has come up is that the relationship between the account and any of these related records have got to be an end-to-one relationship, and that means that there can only be one related record to the account. For instance, if we want to bring in every single contact that is associated with the account, it's not going to like that because we could be bringing in 100 for one field, and that's just going to overload the system and make it crazy. So this is only going to be any field where one record is associated to the account record. But do keep in mind that we can dig into those other records that are related. So I'm going to go ahead and select OK. And now I'm going to go ahead and select Open Word. So let me access, it should be document 2. So it's going to verify that this is all the information that I want to bring from my CRM into Word. So I could take a look at this, and maybe I don't want Sports World in here, so I could go ahead and unselect that. Once I'm fine with the list, I could go ahead and select OK. And now we can start building this out. As I had mentioned, if you wanted to create labels, you're going to want to select the labels area up here, and then it'll bring you through a wizard to select the size of the labels, the type, all of that great stuff that you can find at Office Depot, Staples, etc. So to add lines, so if this is a letter, let's go ahead and first start with the full name. So we'll go to Insert, Merge Field. And since I took the information from the account, I'm going to go ahead and select Primary Contact. Hit Enter. Let's go ahead and put account. Enter. We can put in their address. Address 1, Street 1. Enter. City. State. And zip code. And maybe let's go ahead and put enter there. So then I could say, dear, go ahead and say primary contact again, comma, and then write out our email. So basically is what I'm doing is I'm writing one single letter that is now going to autofill with all the information of every single person that was in that marketing list. Once I'm done with it and I've built it out and it's fantastic and I love it, I could go ahead and hit preview results. That's going to give me the results. I can also go to finish and merge and edit individual documents. And let's go ahead and just do the current record. Oops. Let's go back into document 2 and letter 1. Looks as though that might not be the best example, so let's not save. Let's go to edit individual documents, and let's go from 3 to 5. One of those is bound to be a decent example. So here we go. We have Cat Francis, Balboa Court, Santa Cruz, Texas, with the zip code, Dear Cat Francis, sample, and then our letter. So this is just an example. I could go ahead and edit this and then print it, or if I have gone over them, I like it, I can go to finish and merge, and I could go ahead and hit print documents. And that's going to print out all the documents. I could take a quick look at them and then send them out. And that's going to save you a lot of time when it comes to sending out a lot of documents or a lot of letters if you're sending them in bulk. Something else to note about the mail merge is that it can only be done if you're using Dynamic CRM in the Outlook client. The Outlook client allows for that connection between Dynamic CRM and Word. Alternatively, you can export the mailing list actually by opening up the mailing list and going to marketing list members, and then selecting export, marketing list members, and then export marketing list members. And that is going to, then you'd be able to import it as a mail merge in your CRM, or into Word, excuse me. So any other questions? Checking time right now. We have about 10 more minutes. So another question has been, how do I create my own dashboard? Let me just minimize my tree a little bit and make it neat. So I'm going to go ahead and go into Workplace and go into My Work. I'm going to go ahead and select Dashboards. So right now I have the Customer Service Performance Dashboard. I can change this view by selecting it and viewing all the other dashboards that I have in my CRM. Usually Microsoft Dynamics CRM Overview is a pretty good representation of your CRM, but every single user in your CRM will most likely be looking at data that is specific to them. And so how they would do that, they would create a new dashboard. So let's go ahead and select New here at the top. We can select a layout. The thing about selecting layouts is we can change it later, so don't spend too much time trying to figure out exactly what you want to see, how many boxes, all that stuff. We can decide that later. So let's go ahead and hit Create. Let's give this a name. Call it Sample Dashboard. So the two icons you're going to use specifically are going to be the Insert Chart and Insert List. So the chart is going to go ahead and put a chart in. So let's go ahead and let's make this an opportunity. And I want to see all of let's keep it. All my open opportunities. And then I want to see not only top customers, I want to see actual revenue. That's not very exciting. Okay, let's just keep it at, see, what was it? Top customers. Okay. So now we've inserted that chart in there. Typically, if this is going to be a small area like it is here, charts usually work best. In something that's a little bit longer here, you're going to find that lists work best. So let's go ahead and insert a list. A very common one for you to have on your dashboard is going to be activities, or maybe specifically phone calls. So I'm going to go ahead and select activities, and I want to see my open activities. And something else to note about lists and even charts is that if there's a specific view that you want to show up in your dashboard, you're going to want to go into, I'm just going to lower this a little bit, your advanced find and create that list before you even start your dashboard. If you find that you are starting your dashboard and you realize, oh, I want a list, we could go ahead and hit Save and Close. We could go into the advanced find, create that list, and then we can select the dashboard here, which it's automatically going to show up, sample dashboard, and we could go ahead and hit edit, and that's going to bring up the same wizard. Also, I could go ahead and select and remove. If I want to make this a little bit bigger, I could go ahead and increase the width. And so now maybe I want to put another chart in here. Let's go ahead and put, it's another good one. Let's do accounts, and we'll do my active accounts, and we could do accounts by chart funnel. Go ahead and click OK. Funnels aren't generally too awesome for the long chart, but it's just an example. If I want to change this chart though too, I could go ahead and select it and hit Edit Component. I could then go in and say, I don't want it to be accounts. I want to see my activities, and I want to see all active activities. So I could go ahead and click OK. And it's changed it to a list. So that's how to get around the dashboards. So we have another 6 minutes or so. Any other questions? So I got a question about how to create a landing page. So to do that, I'm going to go ahead and go into marketing, and let's go into the internet lead capture. Let's go ahead and open this content in a new window. And it looks as though I'm getting an error. It's maybe something that I need to follow up with. Generally, you would go to the internet lead capture. It would show up a screen. Let me see if I can do this in another CRM that I have open over here. Just 1 second. And I'm still getting that error. I'll have to look into A, why I'm getting that error, and B, we'll have to go over how that works another time. Generally, it'll ask you if you want to do either a form or a page, so it gives you the option to create an entirely new web page where you would put a link to that web page. They would fill it in. It would then be filtered into your leads section. You'd be able to select the fields that you would like to put into the form. You can also select which ones are required. Something else to note about the internet lead capture is that you need to release the leads. So you'd go into the internet lead capture if it was working, and you would be able to release the leads. So you can effectively decide which ones are coming into your leads area and which ones are not. It's actually really disappointing I can't show it to you today, and I'll try and get to the bottom of it. I have a feeling it has to do with this being a demo version, something odd about that. But I'll go ahead and try and have a fresh trial or something that is paid for next time, and I'd be able to show you that. All right, so I think I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you for joining. I'm going to put up my contact information again. Whoops. So this is my email address. Feel free to email me, and I will try and get back to you about that internet lead capture. Thank you for joining us.